You're welcome to the details. Over 60 people are said to be trapped in a rubble after an uncompleted church building in Achimbatebe collapsed on a congregation. The four-story building is being constructed by the Church of Prosperity. Some of the victims were said to have been rescued and sent to the hospital before the police arrived. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has confirmed that 7 people have died from the incident. Some eyewitnesses who spoke to our sister station Adom FM say many residents had to flee for safety when the building collapsed. Meanwhile, a rescue team including NADMO officials, local and regional police soldiers from Jungle Warfare, BNI, fire personnel and local volunteers have proceeded to the rescue of the persons trapped under the rubble.
I don't want to go into some of these things. No institution has been able to get all the logistics that it needs for each occasion. But the most critical thing to do now is in the light of the limited resources that we have, what can we do to salvage the situation? That is the most important thing that we need to talk about. So the inadequacy of logistics and equipment, we will discuss it on another platform. But going into the future, I think as a country, we need to take critical look at some of these things.
Would we see sniff dogs coming around?
Yes. Now we have some of them. They were brought by the CDS and his team. And very soon we'll see them around. We believe it is going to enhance the operation as well. But going forward, I think that is the way to go. But NADMO as an institution does not have the authority and the power to demolish buildings. Ours is to do what we call the hazard mapping, and then to identify the potential hazard that is likely to migrate into disasters. So therefore we can be able to write a report on it for the assemblies. The decision to demolish or not to demolish rests on the assembly and their engineers. Yes. Exercise started from yesterday after the collapse of the building. NADMO and other stakeholders. So now we have a team of military personnel from the 64 Regiment. We have those from the Achazin Jungle Warfare. Then we have the ambulance service. We have NADMO Regional National Directorate, and then the AMA Apostle Manso District, and then the Odam Municipality. All of them are here. And then we have the Ghana Police. And we are on our rescue mission. As at yesterday, we were able to rescue 6 dead people, and then we were able to rescue 7 people who were alive. All of them were sent to the Odam Government Hospital, and as at now, 6 of them have been discharged from the hospital. Only one person, a boy of 30 years, is still at the hospital. But the reports that we are getting is that the situation is better and he is likely to be discharged very, very soon. This morning, we continue with the mission of rescuing people. And as of this morning, we were able to rescue a woman who is alive. She is sent to the government hospital again, and one dead person who is also sent to the morgue at the same hospital. Yes.
So it's been a while since this incident occurred. Let's clear out the figures right now. Joining me on Zoom is Sergeant Francis Gomado. He's the acting police PRO for the Eastern region. Hello, Sergeant. Thank you for your time. Good afternoon. Sergeant Gomado, can you hear me? I think you are muted. If you will unmute, then we can. Great.
Yeah, how are you too, my dear?
I'm blessed. So let's look at the figures. Now, the earlier reports we had said 7 people have been confirmed dead. Update us on the figures right now.
Yes, it's 7 as of about 30 minutes ago when I checked from the ground. The confirmed death for now is 7.
Okay. And apart from that, how many people do we estimate are trapped under the rubble?
Looking at the figures that we have gotten, 56 of the worshippers, they were alleged to have been at the church before the incident. 35 of them escaped unhurt.
Okay.
6 of them got injured and were sent to the Odan hospital and were later treated and discharged.
Okay.
7 of them confirmed dead. So the number remaining now feared dead is 8, who are, we believe that they are under the rubble, which the combined team of police, military, and NADMO, and other major or critical stakeholders are working to actually retrieve. If provided they are alive, then fine.
As I speak to you now, we're looking at visuals on the screen that shows people who look like local people who are volunteering to help with the process. But the right processes, you know, of doing this require some state agencies. We know that NADMO has been there. They've told us that the police, soldiers are all there. What are they doing right now? I mean, we got these visuals a bit earlier. So I want to find out, since you're on the ground and you checked like 30 minutes, like you said, what really is happening right now? Are they moving? Do they have earth-moving machinery that's helping them to move the rubble so they can trace the people beneath? What is happening right now?
Sure, like you rightly said, they have some earth-moving machines that are on the site now. And that's what exactly they are doing to see if we can actually help those who were trapped under the rubble to know whether they are still alive or dead. That's what we are doing now. So it's like a rescue mission that we all embark on.
Okay.
And as I told you, the people who are concerned, the NADMO, the police, the military, they are all there to make sure that we get to the bottom of it.
Let's talk about...
It's a study. Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Oh, you continue.
Okay, what I wanted to find out is whether we know at this point what may have caused the collapse.
For now, immediately, the factors that contributed to the collapse of this building is not immediately known. Police and other stakeholders will constitute an investigation team to go into this matter to come out with something concrete, maybe telling us what might have caused the collapse of the building. On the face of it, yes, people have the right to speculate whether maybe the right materials were not used or maybe a shoddy work has been done and whatever. People can speculate. That one is fair. But who will constitute a team to investigate it and come out with something concrete that we can all rely on.
Which other detail does the police have at this point that you can share with our viewers?
Well, for now, not much, but we've been told this building started for some years back, decades. So it's like a slow-paced kind of work. That's what we've been told.
Okay.
And as to whether the right materials are, because this is a 3-story building. So we expect that the right engineering mechanisms should be put in place so that we get the best building to use. But as it is now, we don't have much information as to whether those materials have been used, whether the appropriate mechanisms have been put in place,
okay,
etc., etc. So we'll definitely get to the bottom of it because, you know, as it is now, we are all grieving because 7 people lost their life. We are counting more because we don't know their whereabouts now.
Right.
So definitely the owners or the players of this game will not just go scot-free. We'll definitely come to the bottom of it.
Sergeant Francis Gomado, thank you very much for your time. He is acting PRO for the Eastern Region Police there. It sounds to me as though they're suspecting that they're suspecting it's as a result of the quality of material used, but it is still not confirmed, something they are looking to investigate. Let's get more from Adom FM's Kwesi Azo. Hello, Kwesi. Kwesi, I hope you're hearing. I hope you're hearing me. I've been trying to get the police to answer some of the questions that we have. But who are the people behind this church? Do we know who he is or who he or she is?
We'll remember that.
Hello, Kwesi. Do you hear me? Okay, it looks like I've lost him. Kwesi Azo is with our sister station Adum FM, and he's been on the ground. I was trying to get through to him for him to help us understand who owns this building and what we know about those people. Well, so far, what we know is that about 56 people were expected to be in the church. 7 people have been confirmed dead. 35 of them escaped unhurt. 6 have been injured. They've been cleared, by the way, from the hospital, so they've been discharged. But 8 more are feared dead and trapped under that rubble. Let me get through to Kwesi once again. Hello, Kwesi.
Yeah, hello.
Great, Kwesi. So I was asking about the ownership of this building. What can you tell us about the ownership? Who owns it?
A pastor owns it. The name is Prophet Akwa Isaac. Currently, I've been told that he has been invited at the Kemoda Divisional Police Command to answer or to assess the investigations. Currently, he is at the police custody now.
The PRO, acting PRO for the Eastern Region Police that I just spoke to indicates that this is a building that has been uncompleted for a very long time. What can you tell us about that bit of the information?
Yes, for about 28 years now. For about 28 years now. In the morning, I spoke with the District Chief Executive, Alex Inkum, and he says the building has been there for about 28 years now, and it's uncompleted. Every year, the man continues. With the building. He is at it with the help of the church members. So without any architect, without any, anybody expert in building or whatever it takes, he does it, with the help of the church members. That's why the building has collapsed.
This is information that the police officers or your sources within the police are telling you because it's not officially confirmed yet, right? That is the cause of the collapse.
Yes.
Right.
It's not confirmed. This is the information we are gathering on the ground. So the residents we spoke with, they are telling us that every year the man will just call the church members, buy 1 or 2 cement bags of cement, and at least get the blocks and start doing it with the help of the church members. This is the information we are gathering from the grounds.
Great. It's just right that we point that out so people know. But Kwesi, once again, I want to find out, you've been interacting with the people. Have you been able to interact with any of the survivors? The police tells us that about 35 of them escaped unhurt. They will be able to tell us how this happened.
Please, you can come again.
I'm asking whether you've been able to talk to those who escaped unhurt. The police is telling us that 35 of them were able to escape and they were not hurt. Have you been able to interact with any of these 35?
We've been able to get them, but they say they are not going to talk to us.
Okay.
They say they will not talk to us. And now, currently, the death toll has risen to 9.
Wow.
It has risen to 9. Now, 2 male, then 7 female. 6 has been discharged, and 2 on admission, serious condition. They have been able to rescue 17 of them.
Okay, so Kwesi, let's go through the figures again. 17 of them rescued. Do they include the 6 that went to hospital and were discharged?
Yes, they were part.
Okay.
They were part.
So far 17 people have been rescued.
17 rescued.
35 went unhurt.
Yes.
8 of them are still expected under the rubble, or has that changed?
Come again. 8
of them are expected to be trapped under the debris. Are they still?
Yeah.
Are they?
I spoke with the NADMO director for the region, Mr. Pia Kudia, for about an hour ago. He says 6 of them have been discharged. 6 has been discharged. I spoke with him an hour ago. He said 6 of them have been discharged. Yes.
Yes, that figure we had But I wanted to find out if we know anything about those beneath the rubble right now. Has any of them been removed? Those who are trapped under the rubble?
No.
Okay.
They are still, we have 5 excavators at the moment. They are doing the search.
Okay.
Yes. The work is ongoing. They are searching and searching and searching. Yeah, in fact, we are here.
Okay. Kwesi, I'll say a very big thanks to you. At 3 o'clock, probably we'll come to you and hope that there will be some good news from there. Kwesi Azo is with our sister station, Adum FM. Very sad news coming there. We're told that the death rate, which the death toll, which was 7, has now risen to 9. But we know that there are still 8 people that are expected to be beneath the rubble. 35 of them, thankfully, escaped unhurt. We'll follow that story and bring you the update. Now, lives of aircraft passengers are in danger as signals from control towers at the Kotoka International Airport are being blocked by illegal buildings put up on aviation lands by private and real estate developers at East Legon, Ashalibuche and La Wireless. That is according to the spokesperson of the Coalition of Ghana Civil Aviation Association workers. At East Legon, some of the developers have cleared the green belt, which is supposed to absorb the carbon monoxide emitted from vehicles on the Accra-Tema motorway. The green belt, which was also to make it possible for an extension of the motorway, can now best be described as a concrete jungle. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
Voice of Dr. Andrew Anani Akutu showing me a picture with his wife during a visit to the South Pole. He reminisces about the good times there. In the 1970s, it was the lush green and the serene environment that attracted him to East Legon. But that is no more. The greenery has now given way to concrete. The green belt, which was supposed to serve as a buffer between the motorway and East Legon, has been cleared by property developers, with some of them dangerously constructing high-rise buildings under flight approach paths. The former director of the UNFPA and the former chairman of the National Population Council is just one out of the many Ghanaians and residents of East Legon terrified about the situation. He wants persons who have put their personal interests above the state's interest punished.
All the trees have been cut down, and we see high-rise buildings going up, and it only goes to confirm, I fear, what a friend of mine used to say, that in Ghana, monkeys play by sizes. If you are big enough, you'll get away with it. It is encouraging to hear and to have noticed that the minister has caused to be demolished one of those buildings. But alas, it is not the only building there. The minister, maybe he has started, and he must complete the job and demolish everything in that area there, because it is the belief of those of us who live there that these buildings have been put up in contravention, total disregard of a court order and a court judgment. Are some people in our country so powerful because of their personal, private, financial concerns that they can ignore the court's decisions? Decisions which were taken to protect the environment, to protect the people who live in this area. I believe not. And but I must submit that clearly these buildings could not have been put up without the knowledge of the appropriate authorities in the country.
The laws of this country, it cannot happen.
Voice of Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amwaku Atta when he visited the Green Belt sometime last week. The Green Belt was also to make it possible for the extension of the Accra-Tema motorway. but it has been cleared by private and real estate developers as they continue to build on the land. The Roads and Highways Minister ordered the demolition of the structures on the land, vowing to pull down more.
And the right thing will be done no matter who is involved. This structure, I don't care who is the owner. You could be anybody. This structure will go down. I have ordered the destruction of that structure. And no matter who the owners are, it will not be tolerated. We will not stop such an important overpass over the motorway that will serve the people of this country because of individuals' selfish interests. Look, when you get here, we shall pull this structure down. Just as I have directed that structure to be pulled down, and they are pulling it down. They should stop work. If they don't, and monitor them, they should stop work. Otherwise, within 2 weeks, we are coming here with the full force of national security, and we will pull all these houses down. Because the motorway extension is coming to this side, and the contractor has been appointed. We are turning the motorway into a 6-lane highway, and individuals just encroach on the road reservation, and do whatever they like under the guise of permit and hot permit. And write to them to stop work. If they don't, just as I have ordered the demolition of about 4-5 houses today, if they don't stop within 2 weeks, I will come here with more excavators and the full force of national security.
Drive on the streets very close to East Legon Tunnel, where the green belt is located, reveals how private developers have taken over the land with their makeshift and permanent structures. All the trees have been completely destroyed. One of the residents alerted me to how an aircraft which was about to land at the Kotoka International Airport was closer to one of the high-rise buildings under construction.
People don't realize it.
I am now in an office at the airport city to meet Dr. Isaka Yakubu Akparibo. He has many years of experience in the aviation industry. He is alarmed by the danger and equally concerned about high-rise buildings and flight approach paths at East Legon.
You know, in aviation, most accident happens when aircrafts are landing or taking off.
Okay.
If you are on the approach path and something happens, the number of lives that is going to be lost is going to be high. You are going to lose people in the aircraft and then people on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, that's why in countries that have like coastlines, if you observe, most of the airports are nearer the coastline, so that you take off and then you go through on this through the sea side, and then if there's anything, you can the aircraft drops, and then the casualties won't be much because it will only be the people on the aircraft but not on the ground. There are so many developments along the approach path to our airports, and that definitely poses some safety issues.
Good afternoon, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Cocoa Board has suspended 2 firms identified in a JoyNews investigation as renting certification licenses. The latest hotline documentary by JoyNews' Kwete Nate revealed that some license buying firms and players in the industry were abusing the certification process. Deputy Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Opoku, tells Joy Business the suspension is a temporary measure pending final investigations.
For me, I think it's an important disclosure because the media is one of our major stakeholders. We are not everywhere, so this expose, it gives us another insight into what other people are doing just to destroy the system. So I'm happy because then it has given us one side of it. We've taken swift action this morning. I signed a letter suspending the LBC involved, and then that of the farmer group from any sustainability program. So I'm sure they must have gotten or received a letter.
Remember yesterday in explaining to us, you also talked about a committee being set up to look into this. Apart from this suspension again, when is this working of the committee going to take off, and how would their workings and recommendations lead to what some will say that maybe never again?
Yes. one, the committee, I haven't even, the chairman hasn't received the letter yet. The letter has been done this morning, so it will be delivered to him. And I'm sure he's not even aware because he was in my office yesterday before I spoke to you. His committee actually made him the chairman of the same certification, regulations and guidelines for producing and delivering certified cocoa. He chaired it and submitted the report of their committee. It would have been ready a long time ago, but because of COVID. But now they are done. So with this revelation, he is going to take on and investigate, because now he's very well versed in all the processes, and then come up with recommendations as to what action to be taken. They've made certain proposals in that document which they gave me yesterday. But we want specific recommendations. So the immediate action is to suspend the operations of the LBC and the Cocoa Group, who were caught doing this illegal thing. And so the LBC license hasn't been suspended. They can still go ahead and purchase cocoa. But if we find out that they have cheated farmers, the investigations established that they've cheated farmers, then there is that sanction which for practices which will apply, and that could lead to the withdrawal of their license.
The first tranche of the cocoa syndication loan has been received by the Bank of Ghana. Joy Business understands that about $650 million hit the Treasury account yesterday for onward transfer to Cocoa Board. But how will this impact on the city and the broader economy? George Yafi has more.
The $650 million is part of the total $1.3 billion that was signed with 24 international banks in September this year. The funds are expected to help Cocoa Board pay farmers that have made available beans to the licensed buying companies. Therefore, the immediate impact will be making available to Cocoa Board the needed liquidity to pay these farmers. However, there are other stated benefits with this inflow. Since this money will first hit the Bank of Ghana's foreign account, it will go a long way to boost its reserves, a development that could send signals to investors and traders that the Bank of Ghana is in a strong position to support the Ghana city when the need arises. This will now increase the Bank of Ghana's total international reserves to a little over $9 billion ending October this year. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, recently noted that they are planning to increase their reserves by $1 billion before the end of this year, for some an indication of building reserves to possibly withstand perennial first quarter pressure on the local currency. The Ghana city has witnessed some pressure over the past few days on the interbank market. The syndicated loan coming in will also help the local cocoa economy in terms of funds being made available to these farmers to help them meet their basic needs and even support their entire dependence, as well as help cocoa production at the local level.
And we've got a full bulletin of business news at the top of the hour. Sports is up next.
Good afternoon and welcome to the sports segment with me, Oreko Ampofo. We started from some local stories where Ghanaian clubs who have chosen the Accra Sports Stadium as their home venue for the 2020-2021 Ghana football season were asked to pay a fee up to $20,000 in order to use the facility. According to the National Sports Authority, about 5 Premier League clubs will be using the country's premier stadium for the upcoming campaign, and matches categorized as match A games would require the home team to pay up to 20,000 Ghana cedis. However, following a further consultation with the sector minister and taking into consideration concerns of the affected club, the National Sports Authority has scrapped the 20,000 per game fee. And joining us on the phone lines is PRO for the NSA, Charles Obeng Amofa. Hi, Charles. It's a pleasure to have you. Can you please take us through what exactly changed in the past 24 hours to enable the NSA to, scrap the 20,000 fee?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to your listeners. NSA management met yesterday in the evening around 6 p.m. We took a decision to withdraw the new rate that was put out there 3 weeks ago. There were calls from stakeholders, GFA, GALCA, and some of the clubs that were affected with those new charges. So we took a decision to withdraw the statement yesterday.
Okay, so in that consultation that went on, what were some of the issues or limitations presented that you considered to be able to, reduce the price?
As we speak, we are consulting the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We're also in touch with the clubs and the GALCA GFA. We deliberating new charges, whether to revert back to the old formula that we've been using, that is the gate fee proceeds, or we'll have new charges. So we're still in talks with stakeholders.
Okay, so when do we expect, a final consensus from this engagement that's going on between these parties?
We hope by close of day today we should be able to come out with new charges, or whether we're going back to the old rates that we've been using for our matches. So we'll inform the general public as soon as we are done with the consultation.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Charles Obenyamofa, and he's the PRO for the NSA. The news coming in is that just less than 24 hours after clubs were asked to pay up to 20,000 Ghana cedi to use the Accra Sports Stadium, that decision has been scrapped. And according to what he said, they're in consultations with various stakeholders from GALCA and clubs and the minister as well to find a way that would suit, the clubs and, bring the best out of the Ghana Premier League.